I also wanted to touch on the broader economic impacts of this. I think the reference to the Welsh Government's 182-day threshold for self-catering businesses has already been alluded to. I don't think we can actually understate the damage that this is causing to that part of our hospitality sector. If you look at PASC, an industry body that represents self-catering businesses, they found that 47% of businesses in Wales that find themselves in the position where they have to pay domestic rates find they operate at a loss. Now, I don't think you have to be a business person or have a great amount of business acumen to understand that a business operating at a loss is not a viable business. It's just for the birds. It just isn't practical. I think another concern we certainly have to look at with this is not just the effect on those businesses, but the other businesses in the supply chain. Hospitality doesn't just affect or doesn't just exist on its own. There are a range of other businesses, whether or not they're laundrettes, professional services like accountancy services, or caterers that support those, and they create jobs in their communities, and that contributes significantly to our local economy. Now, when I was reading the covering report of this, I was initially delighted to see that it had feedback from 3 cabinet members. Obviously, the cabinet member responsible for finance. This is a financial matter for this authority. The cabinet member responsible for housing, because again, it's a housing matter. And the cabinet member responsible for our local economy. I was really disappointed reading the comments, though, that within the comments from the cabinet member responsible for the local economy, there's nothing about the local economy. It seems to be a blind spot for this authority. Now, I will give the cabinet member the benefit of the doubt. I'd note that her comments do begin with, I've recently taken over this portfolio and have received a handover from the previous cabinet member. But this simply isn't good enough. I appreciate the points made by the cabinet member for finance that a further report on the impacts of this on our local economy is due to come early in the next calendar year. Well, for greatest of respect, this isn't a new problem. It has been affecting the self-catering sector for months now, and I would have expected a far greater awareness from this council, particularly as it's a body that prides itself on economic development. I would have expected a far greater awareness around this issue and more detail included within the agenda. I can see in the agenda we've got a planning paper that talks about how we try and look at the planning aspects of self-catering properties. And that's all fine and well, but it doesn't actually address the issue here that this is contributing to really damaging a significant part of our tourism sector locally. And it's something that, to my mind, shouldn't be supported. Thank you, Chair.